Actually be able to go live and not have it be the worst thing in the world. Let me check it on my phone, make sure we are all right, because yeah, that video was removed by the uploader, blah, blah, blah. Music still sounds a little loud, so we'll drop that down. Music still sounds a little loud, so we'll drop that down. All right. You know, audio doesn't sound as good as it should for the quality of microphone system that I'm using, but we're here, we're live, and that's all that should matter at this point. All right, let's do this thing. We're going to assemble the Kingroon KP3 3D printer. Nobody freak out about the fact that I have a knife here. This is the Kingroon KP3. If anybody's not aware, this thing is a direct drive linear rail equipped extruder. It is, of course, a knockoff of the Titan Aero extruder from the folks at E3D. So how good is this thing going to be? It's a $169 3D printer. I don't really know how good it can actually be at that price point, but we're going to find out. So let's get into this thing. This is the first live stream we're doing from the studio. The studio is, if you cannot tell, not finished at this point, but we're going to go ahead and get it set up and work on it anyway, because I've got to get moving forward with projects. So let's get to this. Opening up the box, let me get the camera a better angle real quick. All right, inside of this box, we've got your required bit of filament nobody cares about, the package list, the list of components that actually come in here, which is also technically your warranty card, I guess. Instructions, which is going to be pretty important to us because I have no idea how this thing goes together. We're going to find out together. All right, we get Kingroon spare parts. Let's see what's inside of the spare parts box. Oh, wow. It comes with a spare thermistor. So that's pretty interesting. Move this a little closer to camera. Comes with a spare thermistor, a spare nozzle, tools to put it together, a spare coupler for the Z-axis. I'm not entirely sure, but I understand why it comes with that. A couple of extra screws. There's our SD card and a little SD card reader. Get our flush cuts like you get with pretty much every 3D printer out there. And a USB cable for hooking up like Octoprint or something like that. I know nothing about this printer other than its outward physical, like I bought the sales pitch, you know? I saw what the sales pitch was and I said, I'm gonna give this thing a try. And that's where we're at. I'm gonna turn this second receiver off, or transmitter off of my audio. I was having audio issues with the stream earlier, so we made a change. All right. I'm gonna put these spare pieces back in this box so I can keep track of them. I hope those are actually spares. We'll find out. Got the SD card and that over there. Now, it also comes with a couple of these filament roller holders here. Filament rollers, like really light plastic on these things, but hey, they come that way. So it doesn't have a spool holder, it just has rollers that you put your filament on. Power supply comes almost entirely disconnected. It's got a barrel plug that's going to end up plugged into the printer, I assume. That's an interesting choice. Alright, now, actually getting into the printer itself. Taking out some of the foam here. Got the lead screw for the Z-axis. Oh, that's neat. The plugs for the tube that this comes in are actually 3D printed of different filament colors too. That's nice to see. A company, I'm always kind of surprised how little is 3D printed from most 3D printer manufacturers. So that's an interesting choice. This is the Kingroon KP3S. So KP3 3D printer. And yeah, Kingroon KP3 is what it's called. It's an interesting little printer. It's a smaller form factor, but it's really affordable and has some really big features to it. Your standard IEC power cable here. Try and get this camera in front of here. Power cable here. That would obviously go with the power supply. All right, getting inside of here to get this thing out now. Piece of foam, one more piece of foam out of there. Now I can remove the gantry and the Z-axis. Oh, but they're connected to the lower, to the inner, to the base. Okay, here's the extruder and the motor and all of this pretty much pre-assembled. I just got to put the Z-axis onto the base, it looks like. So let's get this thing out of the box. Yeah, there it is. I'm going to drop the box out of the way. There is the printer. Interesting. That is interesting. Very small display on this thing. This is direct drive. This thing is a direct drive 3D printer. It's an oddly little printer. I mean, I'm not used to it. It's 180 by 180 degree, or 180 millimeter by 180 millimeter, I believe 180 millimeter on Z as well. So it's a littler printer. It's kind of a bit of a clone of the, it's not really a clone of, but I'm going to call it a bit of a clone of the Prusa Mini. And yeah, strange little thing here, but all right. Now, I'm going to grab the instructions real quick, make sure I'm not missing anything here, but it seems to be an extremely straightforward assembly process. Looks like I just have to install the Z gantry, the upright, into the base, and that's pretty much it. Take out the 3D printer kit, insert that into there. I got that part right. Take the number 3 hex, fix the XZ axis from the bottom with 2 5mm screws. Those were in the spare parts box. So I was right. They're not actually spare parts. They are the parts. That's silly. That is pretty silly. They're not spares. They're the actual parts. The build plate on this is 180 millimeters by 180 millimeters, so it's a little one. I mean, really, it's not that much smaller than a Prusa, but it sure looks a heck of a lot smaller. Like a lot. So, okay. The sticker on the back here is kind of peeling already. I can't tell if that's a standard NEMA 17 motor on the Z-axis. Oh, okay. This is weird. It screws in from the bottom, but it looks like I could also screw it in with screw it in through a mount plate right here. I'm gonna try and zoom in a little bit on the camera. See if y'all can get a better view. Whoop, making camera angle changes. Sorry, I've only got one camera going at the moment. Yeah, there is no 3D printing service or no service for leveling your printer for you. And that's one of the joys of printing, learning to do that stuff. Okay, so I'm going to turn this on its side a little bit so I can get to the bottom side here. So I can install the 2 screws that go into the bottom of the extrusion. This is such a strange setup. Oh, no, okay, I was gonna say that it looks like I can't install these screws. I can't get to the electronics case with these screws in place, but it looks like I actually can. The cutest little printer that could. That's a pretty good description as somebody drives by the alley here. Cutest little printer that could. It's trying its best. Okay, I got those started. Let me grab a 3mm wrench here. Yeah. This does not feel like an exceptionally precise means of assembly. But I'm sure I can. Auto leveling is not a replacement for manual leveling. It never has been. So if your printer has auto leveling, that does not mean that you should not manual level your machine. Oh yeah, wow. Okay, I just did that, but now the x-axis is crooked in relation to the bed. I've got to change that. Let's see if I can just loosen these and move that. I don't like that the z-axis has nothing going with it right now. Oh yeah, I can make that. I can adjust that a lot, like problematically a lot. That's not the greatest thing I've ever seen. I'm gonna have to figure out how to dial that in worth a damn. See, there's a guide block back here. Still crooked as hell. There's a guide block on the back for mounting the Z motor to the Z rail, but it doesn't really allow you to. Did you put any sound damping in the garage? Yes, the garage does have, we have moving blankets on the wall that is the door, the garage doors. The garage doors are now insulated, but you know, it's only so good. I might try a little harder to do a little more, but I'm only going to be able to do so much in this space as far as sound is concerned. Okay. Still looks pretty crooked to me. Seems like the bed might be crooked. I'm just trying to get this here parallel, and it's not really happening. I am having to go so far with this. Let's try even more loosening up and turn it even more. I've got this turned. I'm pushing on the end of this thing to get this to turn the way that I want it to. All right. Now I'm just going to sight down. What I'm doing is I'm sighting down the back edge of the bed to this x-axis to see. It's a lot better, but it's not perfect. This end of the bed over here is like lined up with that x-axis, and that end is just a hair off. So I'm going to call that a failure in design and move on. Speed square really won't help here because there's nowhere to check a square off of. I'm squaring off of the bed, and in the end, the bed kind of matters more. Actually, the linear rails matter more, but that's a whole nother topic, honestly. I'm going to give you all a better view without the... in my microphone. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Why are you not? Oh, God damn it. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, okay, I'm very sorry about that, YouTube audio, folks. Yeah, sorry about that. That was my fault. I made a change there real quick to give you a better perspective on things, and it lost my microphone setup. So we're going back to this perspective, and you should hear me now fine. Sorry. Yeah, I'm streaming right now. If you want to see a better view of what's going on, we're on YouTube and Twitch right now, youtube.com/MandicReally. Yep, this thing is $170 on Amazon right now, $169. Like, for what everything it has, it seems too good to be true. That's why I picked one up. I bought one on a whim just to try it out and see how it is, and that's kind of what we're doing. Sorry about the audio issues, folks. I keep freaking... This stream was very last minute. I didn't plan to stream this thing today, but people requested it, so here we are. And as such, I'm a little frazzled and a little all over the place. Sorry about that. I want to move the camera real quick. Boop. Okay. The build volume on this is 180 by 180 by, I believe, 180 cubed. Let's see here. I know it's 180 by 180 on X and Y. I think Z is 180 as well. So it's not that big of a printer. I mean, yeah, this is absolutely a smaller foot. This takes a definite smaller footprint than the Ender 3. Let me grab an Ender 3 and put it next to it for scale. And we'll compare. Here's an Ender 3 next to this thing for scale. Like, yeah, you can pretty much, let's just do that. You can pretty much fit this machine on the bed of an Ender 3. It's itty bitty. It is so small. But you know what? Like, a lot of things I print aren't nearly the size of the bed of an Ender 3. So, yep, put the Ender 3 back on the shelf here. All right. So, yeah, it's an itty bitty one. It's interesting. Will it beat a Prusa Mini? Honestly, it's a clone of a Prusa Mini in my eyes. Now, granted, Prusa wasn't the first to originate this type of design. The Ender 2 came out before the Prusa Mini and had this design to it. This has linear rails, that has guide rails. I really don't know. Only time will tell. The wheels on the Z-axis are the hair loose. I'm gonna check. I don't have a good way to check that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just adjust those real quick, tighten up the tension on it, and then we're going to just hit the road with it. We're just going to probably full send, no stop, go for it. I'm just going to adjust the eccentric wheel to tighten up the Z-axis, and that's all we're going to do for right now. Oh yeah, I'm going to print before this stream is over. We will be printing with this thing before this stream is over. Cool, that tightened up our Z-axis. All right. There are definitely some things I can already see I do not love about this, but that's okay. It's a $170 printer, and we're gonna figure it out as we go here. One thing I definitely don't like is they're expecting you to put the filament on, I grabbed a spool of filament here, on these little rollers next to the machine. That's fine, I have no issue with that. But now I need to go from here, oh, they don't roll very nicely, to the top of this extruder, which means my filament needs to go up and in, but there's no way to guide it. I think I'm going to design a guide for the top of this frame up here to guide the filament up and around. That'll definitely be better. Yeah, this thing it's interesting. I'm interested. Before I power it up, I had zero idea what electronics are in this thing. And as turning the filament sideways won't fix the up and down. The problem is that the filament is down here and the intake is up here. So if the spool was up here, it would help, but there's no spool mount. So filament bungee. I mean, honestly, something along those lines, like a little guide or something with maybe even spring-loaded to kind of allow the filament to move pretty easily. Looks like the Snapmaker 1.0. Okay, that's a fair comparison. They use this same cantilever design. There are various printers that use the cantilever. The first one that I'm aware of is the Ender 2. Was the first one that I knew to use this design, but okay, we're going to pop the electronics case open because I want to see what this has for electronics in it. I don't really want to set it on the wiring, but it kind of looks like I'm pretty much have to. Yeah, there's not really a good way to do this. Let's go this way. Okay, we're going to pop off the bottom of this thing. I don't know where my electric screwdriver is right now. I want to find it real quick. If I can, it'll save me some trouble here. Oh, there it is. There's my electric screwdriver. All right. Looks like number 2 millimeter. 2 millimeter screws on this thing. I want to see what electronics are in this. I want to see what drivers it has. This extruder doesn't have a provision for a reverse Bowden tube. It would be called a reverse Bowden tube because it's just used to guide the filament in. My Ender 5 Plus, I have a reverse Bowden tube on. There's no provision for that on this thing, unfortunately. I could do something along those lines. I could design something. I'm probably just going to design a guide and print it and try that for right now and see how that works and go from there. I like to make upgrades for the machines I work with anyway, so I'm going to try and just design it. I don't know that there are many out there. The Snapmaker did not even have end stops. Well, you know, my Prusa doesn't have end stops. That is not necessarily a problem. Stalling on the motors is actually part of the design of some of the stepper motors or stepper drivers and motors. But okay, I'm going to print whatever is on the SD card. I always try to print when I do a test of a new machine. Wow, that one is like stripped out already. That's not a good sign. One of the screws is already stripped out and I didn't do it. We're going to try and pop in here a little tighter. All right. How about SEMA? What do you enjoy more, new products or cars? This year I enjoyed cars more. I usually enjoy the new products more because that's what I really go for. But honestly, oh yeah, this one is completely stripped out. That's not good, Kingroon. Like, this one is like round on the inside. I might have to grab a pair of pliers to get this off. That's not cool. That's really not cool. Usually at SEMA I enjoy, let's see if this will grab now. Yeah, there we go. Well, that one's not going back in. All right, electronics case is loose. There we go. We've got, well, I can't tell what stepper motor, what drivers those are. They've got their own board. It's a Kingroon KP3 1.2. Let's get a better view on the camera here. The board is a Kingroon KP3 1.2 is what it says. Honestly, looking at it, it looks a bit like a Robin Nano board, but in reverse. I've got a Robin Nano board around here somewhere. It's a Big Tree Tech board. I don't know, somewhere around here I have a Robin Nano board, and it looks like a Robin Nano board a little bit. So I'm just looking here to see if there's anything I'm missing as far as like what we can work with. They are socketed drivers. I'm kind of amazed to see that. Socketed drivers, there's a blank socket on the board for a secondary extruder, not that you're going to run dual extrusion on a cantilever machine. Stripped screws, found the cost savings. Yep. Let's pull one of these drivers out and see if I can identify it. It's a TMC 2225. TMC 2225 driver. So it's actually a silent stepper motor driver. Oh, lights on my flashy light. Yeah. I run TMC 2209s in most of my stuff, but that's not a bad driver option. It's the cheaper of the silent steppers. I'm just looking here to see, there is a Z Plus port. There's a port for filament detection. And yeah, so you could add filament runout to this thing. You could also add a BL touch to this thing. Yeah, this is a 32-bit board. Let me double check. Yeah, this is a 32-bit board, so it should have an on-built bootloader. So you should be able to easily do this. Yes, Lyra's here. Lyra is actually the reason. Lyra's in the chat. Lyra is the reason that I picked one of these up. I saw him printing with this thing, and I was really intrigued by it. I checked out the price. It was so cheap, I had to pick one up. And yes, I had to start tearing it apart immediately. So yeah, I don't love that. The belt for the Y-axis up in here is rubbing on the wire for the Y end stop. It's inside of the case, which I like that the wire's inside the case, but it's rubbing on the belt. So sooner or later, that's going to be an issue. I'm not going to fix that right now because I'll probably do a review on this. I don't think it runs in UART. I'd have to figure out what their jumper, because they got 3 jumpers under here and they're all on. So I really don't know. I'm not going to speculate on that right now. All right. Well, I'm just looking at everything here, and everything looks pretty good. Like I said, this looks like a clone of a Robin Nano board to me, much like the Elegoo Neptune 2 runs. My day's going great now. Yeah. Got another connector for a secondary or a different type of LCD display if we wanted. I'm intrigued by the fact it uses a barrel input for the power plug. That's unique, interesting. I mean, it'll work. So yeah, 24 volt fans. Obviously this runs on 24 volt. The processor I'm not familiar with. GigaDevice. It's a GigaDevice GD32F303 VET6. I'm going to take a few photos with my one of my phones here for my records. Come on. It's an ARM 32-bit processor. This does have TMC 2209 or 2225 stepper motor drivers. Like I said, this looks to me like a clone of a Robin Nano board. So, overall, I'm kind of impressed. Did they bother with ferrules? I'm sure they didn't, and no, they didn't. Let me see if they're tinned or not. That's a good question. I gotta grab a, oh no, I got my screwdriver right here. Did they bother with ferrules? They didn't bother with ferrules, but they didn't tin the wires either, which I'm okay with. I like that they didn't tin the wires, so they kind of got halfway there. I wouldn't have expected to see ferrules in here. Oh man, this is hard to get to. I'm stuck. This heater cartridge wire is stuck underneath this loom. Get back in there. Yeah, this wire is not tinned, which, you know, you don't have to worry about the tin going bad on you. And yeah, okay. I'll tighten this back in here. Okay. And let's check the heater circuit for the bed. It definitely doesn't have ferrules, but I want to see if it's tinned. I don't know if the barrel plug isn't sus to me, honestly. The barrel plug is just strange. Yep. The bed heater is tinned. They did tin the wires there, and also they really gripped onto the insulation there. I wonder how well that would have worked had I not disassembled that. Okay, interesting. All right, I think we can put this thing back together now. We'll take one more picture inside of here. A little back further. Okay. All right, time to put it back together so we can get printing, because we're just going to go ahead and do a test print. This is going way faster than I expected it would. I am working on the Kingroon KP3S. It is their new, well, it's not very new, but it's a really small direct drive 3D printer. Boy, that one is tough. We'll get that in a second. Yeah, they definitely saved on the hardware, but honestly, like, the overall design of this thing, I'm kind of impressed with. I think I need to charge my screwdriver. Yeah, I like the full-size Type B. I also do appreciate that. The Elegoo, you know, that seems to be a Robin Nano board thing, because the Elegoo Neptune 2 has a clone Robin Nano board in it, and it also has that going for it. I agree, that is a superior thing to the Micro B or the Micro USB connection. Some of these screws are freaking tough. They're not cross-threaded, they're just tough going in. What's a good budget printer? My recommendation is always the Ender 3 is my go-to recommendation for a budget 3D printer. Yeah, this one might be fucking cross-threaded. Yeah, Ender 3 is my go-to recommendation for a budget 3D printer. Who knows, maybe after I review this thing, my opinion will change. This thing's about the same price as a base model Ender 3 and has direct drive, linear rails, but it's a smaller build volume and it doesn't have nearly the aftermarket that an Ender 3 does. But it has silent stepper motor drivers. It's got the 32-bit processor board in it, which most Ender 3s do nowadays too, but wow, that one is just not happy. I swear I can put a screw in. Might be leaving 2 screws out of this thing. Back in you go. You know, 40mm fan that they have in there, blowing in there, is really blowing. It's blowing like directly on the processor. It's not really blowing on the across the stepper motor drivers. I don't love that. But I guess it is getting the MOSFETs for the bed and the heater cartridges. There we go. Now that one's tightening. Just had to get it past the stubborn bit. Oh yeah, here it says on the back, 180 cubed is the build volume of this. The bed is heated on this. It's got a heated bed. It's got a flexible build plate that is magnetic. It's not a steel magnetic sheet, but it is a magnetic build plate. I'm gonna flip it around here. So, flexible bed, but it's just a magnet with material on it. It's not a piece of steel that goes to the magnet. It's like a second magnet. That's a little weird. All right, folks, we are ready to I think we're ready to fire this thing up, get it leveled, and do a test print. This is going far faster than I would have thought. Lyra was right. This is like a 5-minute assembly. Hardest part of assembly was just trying to square it up a little bit. That's all. All right. Now, oh, I need snips so I can snip the. Just got a printer. Watching my videos made you want to get into this as a hobby. Awesome. Love to hear that. I hope you enjoy it. 3D printing is not for everybody, but I do appreciate and hope that people give it a try and give it a chance. All right. This cord is awfully short. And here's the other thing I don't love, that like you just set the power supply next to this printer, which not the greatest. It just sits on the table next to it, which, I mean, CR10s do that too, but it's still weird. It's still weird. So this looks like they intend, it doesn't say anything in the instructions, but there's this other set of screws here. There's a second set of screws here to like screw the Z-axis in with, and I can see where I would want to go with those and what they make sense to do with them, but like, I don't know, it's just weird. I'm going to install those later. Basically, it's a T-nut and a screw, and there is a place, let me try and get the camera here to see. There's a mount back here. There is a mount back here where I could screw those into, but the instructions say nothing about using it. And that would provide a little more stability to the Z-axis, but they don't say anything about it. So I'm not going to put them in for right now. I will before I review this thing or I use it much more. Out of the box, can TPU or NinjaFlex be used? Well, NinjaFlex is a TPU, but it should be possible because it's direct drive. So should be possible as long as the tolerances are in there. I like Lyra says he likes the detached power supply because you have it out of the way and keeps the footprint down. Understandable. Like I could easily mount this on the wall behind the printer. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like totally a bad thing. High heat filament upgrades for an Ender 3. I would recommend an all metal hot end. Let's peel this sticker off of here. Woo! For the teeny tiny little touchscreen, I want to measure it here. How big is this touchscreen? Here's my calipers. Touchscreen is 40 millimeters by 50 millimeters. Itty bitty thing. Yes, NinjaFlex is a TPU. Woo, hey, my tripod's falling down here. Oh. All right. I gotta get an extension cord because I'm not gonna reach with the short cable to my power strip. Give me a second. Boom, boom, boom. I'm making a racket as I grab an extension cord. All right, get the printer plugged in. Bam, and on it goes. It powered right up. The switch was not on the power supply, but it was on. All right, strange. Okay, now it's time to go through the menu system a little bit. Get you folks a better view here. I'm gonna try and bring this closer to the camera so we can get a view of the screen. It's not a very bright screen, that's for sure. I'm actually I usually have to dial down my ISO on my camera, but I have to dial it up on this one. All right, ready to print. So we've got a basic menu system. We've got home. Let's see what happens when we home the machine. Home all. homing. Now I should adjust the Z axis. There's a thumb screw underneath here for the Z stop. It looks like it's a little high right now. I'm just like setting across the bed to tell me that. I'm going to bloop, home Z. I'm gonna tighten that down a little bit. Home Z again. That looks better. All right, I'm gonna try leveling. I would not normally just, oh, I love that it's got the build. This really seems like it's a Robin Nano board. The software seems very Robin Nano-like. Hey, I put a filter on, sorry about that. Bloop. All right, flip the camera, show you folks. Now, I am way off the bed. I gotta lower the Z. Okay, back. I need to move this thing up off the step. The Z's gotta come way down. I'm just giving it a bunch of turns. Let's crash it and fucking see what happens. Home all. All right, that's now too far. That's okay. I'm okay with too far. That gives me an idea. Move Z up. Home all. Setting across the bed, that looks a lot better. I'm gonna tighten down the screws till I can just see it across there. These feel really loose. Okay, let's start leveling. Point 1, I need a piece of paper. Well, you know what? I'm gonna preheat before I do that anyway, so I just want to get through this right now. Yeah, if you want to do a heated chamber, I do like the idea of it being outside, but the electronics are inside of the case here, so then they'll be within your heated chamber too. All right, I need to get a piece of paper so I can work on leveling. Ha. Flip camera. The warranty card's not going to be right for this. It's not a piece of A4 paper, but I'm going to use it anyway. All right. All right. There's one. I'm going to go, I like to go to the back corner then. Oh yeah, those stepper motors are nice and quiet. All right, I tighten that down a little bit. Now we're going to this back corner. Ho ho, don't like that. I just noticed that the wiring on the Z is behind the Z screw. I screwed that up putting it together. Oh, I bumped the button by doing that. What the heck are you doing? Oh, it's going to the middle. Thank you, I want it in 0.4. That's what I wanted. Now I need to not touch that screen. All right. 0.2, front corner here. Yeah, this wire back here is between the Z screw and the frame. I screwed that up, so I'm gonna have to fix that. My fault. It's also awfully tight over here. Like it almost feels like it's limiting how far the thing can go. I don't like that at all. Like this feels like it's almost under tension. Okay, I just want to get this baseline set up and then I'm going to preheat the bed and we will do this again. but I just wanted to get a ballpark idea, make sure that I had my Z limit switch set properly. All right, now back, home, all. I'm gonna cheat real quick here. Or can this wire go between? Because if it was pulling pretty, it's almost like this wire is meant to be between. Here, sorry, let me give you a better view. This wire here is between the lead screw and there, but then like, it's almost like it has to be. Let me move up a little bit on the Z. Now we're gonna move X. See, when the X goes, yeah, see, like, there's not enough wire for it to go around the outside. It's meant to go between here. I don't love that. And yeah, when I'm all the way over here, it is like pulling on this wire. That is not cool. Look how much tension is on that. That should be farther. So I'll probably have to cut the zip ties and loosen that up. ABS can handle engine bay temps, though not necessarily mounted to an engine, but it should be okay, yes. Okay, back to home, home all. Oh, in front of the Z rail. Thank you. That's the way it came, so I left it there. Thank you, Lyra. That's a good point. That's what I need to do. Let's do that. All the way up. Bloop. Thank you, Lyra. I should have freaking figured that out. Right to 180. All the way, all the way, all the way. What I need to do is I need that wire to be in front of here. That's what he's saying. Duh. All right. Almost there. Come on. You can do it. Yeah, it would eventually do this on its own too on a tall print. There we go. Yeah, I don't love that. So if and when I design a filament guide for up here, I might design it so that it blocks this from going behind there. Oh yeah, it was even skipping your stepper motor. No fun. Okay, that's better. Now let's home all again. Grab the canned cup. We're using the 12mm shot today, shot shell. For my monster. Despite the fact that the monster is not my friends. Yeah, that's a lot better. That makes way more sense. Thank you, Lyra. That's something to watch out for. All right, now we're going to preheat this thing. And then we'll get to printing. Preheat. It suffers from the same problem as the Robin Nano board in the Robin Nano clone in the Elegoo Neptune 2. There's no preset temperature. So I need to preheat it, I need to manually dial its way up. I hate that. Just let me hit a button that says PLA and set a temp. All right, we're going right to 220. But I do like this one has a separate thing for the heat bed and the extruder. Right to 60 on the bed and 220 on the hot end. And yeah, same thing with that. There's no like menu show. Like I have to stay here to see the temperature preheated. That's a little annoying. Little annoying, but I get that. All right, back down here you come. I'm gonna grab the SD card, pop that in there, and we're gonna print whatever's on the SD card. I have no idea what's on there. We're gonna find out. You know what though? I'm gonna pop the SD card into my computer real quick, and I don't have an SD card reader for the minis or micro SDs right now. Here, we're just gonna pop it into here. That does not smell pretty. All right. I've just got some Inland brand PLA here, PLA Plus actually. And we are going to test this out on this thing. And we're up to temperature already. That is a pretty quick heat up. Yeah. All right, this goes this way. Into the tube you go. Let's jam it up there. Can't quite get a clear line of sight on the extruder. There it goes. Yeah. There was like test filament in there. There was a little bit of oozy test filament in there. That's the problem. Feed this through. Man, that feeds through nice and easy with that thumb wheel. All right. Now, let's see what's on the SD card. I'm going to reset the angles here so you folks can get a better perspective as it prints. And we will do a test print. And then we'll answer some questions and do some general talking. All right. I want to see real quick if this has visualization. So we got drivers on here. We got software. That's probably our Cura. Food Clip Fast and Guardian Extruder. There's no preview. STL. No files. Okay. I guess we're going with the Guardian. We're going to see what the heck that is. I have no idea. I'm going to reset the camera angle so you get a better view on the printer. Hopefully the print temps in the G-code work for this PLA Plus. You know what? I didn't re-level after I heated it up. I should have, but you know what? We're just YOLO. We're going for it. I want to check real quick. Options. What do I have in this menu system? Not a lot. That first layer is not laying down pretty so far. You can't quite really see in there, I don't think. I'm not giving it the best start by just hitting the ground running here, but I should have re-leveled after I heated the bed. But you know what? It's got, you know what? First layer is laying down okay. So I'm just going to let it go. I have no idea what it is we're printing. None. There's no preview. There's no... I could have pulled this into like a G-code visualizer and Prusa, but we're going to find out together. But now maybe you can kind of get a perspective of what I'm talking about with the filament, how it just sits next to it like this. Just not ideal. It'll work. The blower fan isn't running because it's on the first layer. I don't run a blower fan on first layer either. I assume that's why. I don't have control of like the G-code. I didn't write it, so we're going to find out. I don't run blower fan on first layers either. Good and hot, lay it on the bed and get better bed adhesion without the blower fan. PLA, PETG, ABS, doesn't matter. I personally don't run the fan at all on the first layer. So. Back in you folks go for a view. See, now the blower fans. No, it's not. I'm trying to look at the preview you folks are seeing. It's not going. It's still in the first layer, so. I don't know how long this print is. There's no estimation of time. There's no time estimate on the screen. So I have no idea. Yeah, I could easily, with my setup here, these shelves behind me, I could put the spool higher than the machine. But I think I'm going to design a guide, a filament guide for this thing to, see, now the blower fan kicked in because it's on. It's almost to the end of layer 1. Yep, it's just kicking into layer 2, so it kicked the fan on. Do you plan on playing any of the new games that came out? I don't really have any in mind that I want to play. What ones would you like to see? Honestly, I haven't had any time for gaming lately, so I don't know what's out there that I should play right now. Seems like it's printing off to this side. Like it's off to the inside there. It's not in the center of the bed. I didn't slice this, so I don't know if it's supposed to be in the center of the bed, but it's not. How's everybody's Sunday going? Anything fun going on out there? Anybody printing anything fun? That fan is definitely not the quietest thing. It is not a very quiet 50-50. Man, that little 30mm fan is weak. I can barely feel the air coming across this heatsink. All your problems were filament related. All right. Room remodel can't print. Got a filament dryer and it solved it. Awesome. Another batch of alligator Lokis today. Awesome. Man, the stepper motors on this thing are quiet. Preparing lithophane orders. Cool. I'm playing Apex. All right. I've got to clean today. We've been away for the last week. We were out of town for a week. We didn't clean before we left. It's time for cleaning. What printer am I using? This is the Kingroon KP3S. We just put it together here on stream. KP3S. Direct drive has linear rails on the X and the Y axis, not on the Z. Quiet stepper motor drivers, and it's $170. 180 millimeter cubed print volume. Printing a comfort grip for the Nintendo Switch. Cool. I need to do that. My Switch, I like, my hands are too big for the Switch. I don't love that. The filament's a little tied up here. Clean that up. I'm printing out, Nick is printing out my 120mm PSU cover for the Ender 3s. Cool. Be careful breaking it off of the bed. It really likes to stick on there because it's such a large flat area, but I hope it works out well for you. What do you printer? You mean what printer is this, or what am I printing? I have no idea what I'm printing. I'm printing what was on the SD card, so your guess is as good as mine as what it is. I don't think it's anything interesting, honestly. I think it might be just like a functional object or something. I already printed one. It came off pretty good. Awesome. Love to hear that. Love to hear it. Hello, how's everybody doing? Folks checking in the chat, saying hi, how's it going? Yeah, blower fan's all up and running now that we are on to like layer 3, I think we're on. So I've got the display gives me fan. It tells me how fast the fan is going. It's at 255, which is 100%. It has the extruder temperature, the bed temperature, but it has a progress bar, but it does not give me a percentage nor a time. Doesn't sound too quiet. The fans are not quiet. That's the problem. Most of these manufacturers have not figured out, like, when we say we want a quiet printer, we don't just want quiet stepper motors, we want quiet fans as well. Yeah, it's all the blower fan. It's all the part cooling fan that's not quiet. So maybe I'll end up changing them out for a different one. I've got other 5015 fans that are significantly quieter than this one, so I don't know what's up with that. But the fact that it even comes with a 5015 fan is kind of impressive to me. So I'm definitely looking forward to trying this thing out on some more intricate prints. Is it lifting? No, it doesn't look like it is. Do you like Wendy's? That's a random question. Do you like Wendy's? No, I don't. I liked Wendy's okay, but back in the day, but I'm vegan. I don't eat anything, so. Adding this one to the farm or giveaway? Yet to be determined. I bought it to review it and try it out. If I like it, it'll stay. If not, who knows? We shall see. I bought this myself. It was not given to me by Kingroon. I picked it up to try it out and see how I feel about it. So we shall see. Time will tell. Checking temps on the stepper motors. Northern Tool Warehouse is having a clearance sale right now. I got a Marcos 6 super cheap. Cool. Possibly going to print your warped cup for the Joy-Con soon. Awesome. I actually really like that thing as far as like a comfort grip is concerned. I mean, I only made it just because it was silly. But it's actually proven to kind of be, in my eyes, a kind of useful thing. And that fits I mean, I designed it, so it fits my hands decently. Fan on the power supply is going good. Power supply doesn't feel too hot. I'm trying to feel if this barrel supply or barrel plug in the power supply is getting hot. It's warm. What is your money doesn't matter dream printer? Money doesn't matter, my dream printer. At the moment, I want to build a Voron. Get you folks into here a little better. At the moment, I want to build a Voron printer. Have you heard of the Voxelabs, Aries, FDM? Haven't heard of the Aries. I stay away from Voxelab. They had a bad run of printers where they're having some like burning, like literal fire issues, so I kind of stay away from them. Right now, I really want to build a Voron machine, build my own. That's probably my next like dream thing. But like money's no object dream. I looked at a printer at the SEMA show that I'm going to be doing a video about on TikTok very soon and on YT. I can say YouTube here. We're going to be doing a YouTube video about SEMA, 3D printing at SEMA. So all the printer companies that were there, parts that I saw that were printed on cars, and there was a company there called Make It. They had large format 3D printers, 2 foot by 2 foot or 2 foot by 4 foot printers. And they were really interesting. Core XY machines, obviously direct drive. They had carbon fiber beds on them. I'll show them in a video. They're interesting. Is that the white one with metal enclosure? No. A Voron is one you build yourself. It's an open source printer. All the designs are out there free. You can get them free of charge, and you just have to buy the parts and put it together yourself and build it yourself. But no, that white one with the metal frame that I showed, that thing was neat, but I don't want one. Honestly, like, I mean, maybe it's nicer than I think it is. I'm not saying it's bad by any means. Just not really what I want. Speed Benchy Voron. I'm not going to do a Voron point, or what is it, the 1.0 or whatever, the little one. I might do one of those later, but it has a build volume similar to this thing. I'm going to do a 2.4, which I might try for a Speed Benchy after that. I definitely want to print faster. It's one of the things I want for the Voron, is to have it be a faster printer for me. So time will tell. We shall see. I don't know. This is kind of a boring print. It's just a flat disc at this point. I hope it's not entirely a flat disc. And it's like barely on the progress bar, so might be a longer, we might be here a while longer than I thought we would be. I might have to go eat lunch and just like turn up the music and let you folks see the print while it goes here. Yeah, I'd like to build a Voron, the small benchtop one too. When I print the can cup designs, what do I need to do to make it better? Mine doesn't pass the Blizzard test. Failure to pass the Blizzard test can happen for a couple of reasons. I designed them to be... It's kind of boring, won't spoil surprise. Thanks, Lyra. I kind of expected that was going to be the case. Maybe I should stop it and print a Benchy or something. I should probably do that. I should probably just cancel this and print a Benchy. Benchy is usually my go-to starter print for a 3D printer anyway, so... but I have to set up a profile for this thing in Prusa Slicer, and I haven't done that yet. So, I don't want to. What was I going to say? Would you recommend the Ender 3 V2 or the Ender 5 Pro? That's hard to say. Probably the Ender 5 Pro. The mechanics of it are a little bit better. It's a stronger overall design than the Ender 3. The non-bed slinger factor can improve print quality right off the bat. Not automatically. I want to see a company that has the chops to include a torture test on the SD card that comes with the printer. That is a great point. Like, show me something really impressive. You know, the Elegoo Neptune 2 came with a little Buddha on it. It wasn't a torture test by any means, but it printed beautifully. And that really impressed me right off the bat with the Neptune 2. So I'm thinking Kingroon needs to include something more interesting. I'll check back here. Improving print can cup designs. Yeah, if you're not passing the Blizzard test, I designed my cups to be a little bit larger on the inside for a tighter fit, or for a looser fit, because some materials shrink differently than others, and some printers are not calibrated as well as others, so the print quality can vary, causing them to fit tighter. And if I make everything tight, then the masses won't be able to print them without problems. So I kind of like err to the side of caution, basically, and go a hair big. If you're not passing the Blizzard test, downsize your print. Go like 99.8% and print it again, and try that. The can cup only grips the can down here at the bottom. So if you want to do a test print where you only print, say, up to here on the can, and then try the Blizzard test, that's worth trying to dial in the percentage that's going to work for you. Oh, now we're going, and we're actually flying. Print speed is going pretty damn quick on this thing. I guess they're really taking advantage of the linear rails on it and printing pretty darn quickly. I have no idea what speed it's actually printing at right now, but it seems fast to me. All right, I'm going to I'm going to turn up the music. I'm going to turn off my microphone for a minute, and I'm going to let this keep going. I'm going to give you folks with the camera a better angle on the print as it's happening here. And then I'm going to go and slice a benchy for this thing. I'm going to set up a printer profile in Prusa Slicer, and then I'm going to I'll probably show you setting up a printer profile in Prusa Slicer as I do it, but then I'm going to go ahead and print a benchy, I think. Maybe. We'll see how this print goes. I want to get a better angle on this thing. There's a better angle. Okay, now I'm going to try and set up a printer profile in Prusa Slicer and see where we end up here. I'm going to look and see if I can find one first of all. Kingroon KP3 Prusa Slicer. I'll be right Okay, so I got the pressure profile set up here. Let me see if I can... I don't know if this is going to work. We'll try. All right. I don't know. This print is boring. It's about 20% into this print, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. Let's change up camera angles here. All right, folks, I think that might wrap it up for this one. I might just let this finish off on the Kingroon KP3. There we go. Well, that tripod didn't want to sit right. Yeah, okay. Bump this camera angle up. Move a table on myself. Knocked over something, whatever. So, this is the Kingroon KP3S. And can't say, I don't know, so far I'm impressed. It's got a lot more going for it than I thought it would. Silent stepper motor drivers on a Robin Nano clone board. I will do a full review of this where I will break down my thoughts on some of the issues that I've already seen with it. And I'm going to start designing some parts for it probably really soon too. Some upgrades and improvements that I think I can already see that it could stand to have. Basic stuff, really. But I have ideas. I have ideas about what I can do to make this a little bit better machine, and I'm gonna see what I can do. And it may end up sticking around. The print speed is impressive for small prototyping. This might become a machine I use more frequently. I don't know. Yet to be determined. You know, it's all knockoff stuff. Titan Aero with the E3D V6 hot ends, like all of it's knockoff, obviously, for that price. You know, you can't, for $169 on Amazon, you can't really expect more. This print's only at 20% right now. It's got a long ways to go. So I might just go ahead and let the music play, go eat my lunch, and come back and see what's happening as this continues. I don't know what else to do at the moment. I don't want to end the stream before this print finishes, and we can dissect the print quality that we got out of this stock G-code file that's in here. So I'm definitely noticing the temp on the hot end is fluctuating. This could really use a PID auto-tune setup, and I will get around to doing that before I do a review of it. But yeah, I'm tempted to hook up Octoprint on this thing and start running some octolapses and really test this thing out a little more. We might play with that yet. Yet to be determined, as so many other things here. Anybody have any questions or anything before I jump out and go to eat my lunch and just let y'all watch the print as it goes? If you're not familiar, if you're not following me already on TikTok, I am closing in on 100,000 followers very, very quickly here. Should be... I moved the whole table. I didn't lock the wheels on this table before I set up. Yeah, I should be hitting 100,000 followers anytime now. So Have you tried the PLA Pro from 3D Fuel? I have tried no filament from 3D Fuel. I use PLA Plus or PLA from Inland a lot. That's my go-to brand for the most part. But no, I've never used any from them. The linear rails are slightly noisy. I feel like I need to grease or oil them a little bit. But my Ender 5 Plus with the linear rail does that as well. Supposed to be able to strengthen it by annealing. Yeah, there's a handful of PLAs out there like that. I think Polymaker has a PLA that you can anneal for strength. You can anneal pretty much any filament. It's just diminishing returns, and some are more intended for it. A clogged extruder on my Ender 3. Thanks for the Comgrow suggestion. Cool. Looks like a nice compact machine. So far, I'm impressed. This printer fits on the bed of an Ender 3, literally. And so far, I'm impressed with it. I don't know. Time will tell if that continues to be the case. I will review it, but I need to get a lot more prints and a lot more time in on it before I am willing to do that. But initial impressions are surprisingly good for $170. So the print quality that I'm seeing right now is not necessarily amazing, but I think that's probably down to the print slice. I didn't slice this design, so it could very well be down to that. I don't know. Yeah. Clogged on my extruder. What temps were you printing that PLA Pro at? I feel like PLA Pro wants to be a little warmer. New to this channel and fascinated by these 3D printers. What is the strongest plastic to print with? You would be surprised to find out the strongest material in general. Now, strong absolutely depends on what you're asking for and all that, but the strongest material, in my opinion, or well, not my opinion, in testing by other people, is PLA. The most basic material that people print with is technically the strongest. There are factors to that. It's more brittle than PETG. It is more, it doesn't hold up to temperatures as well. It's not UV resistant. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. But for sheer brute tensile strength, it is 225, but I have no way of verifying it was actually at temp. Okay, yeah, that's a fair point. I want to try and look into that more, like testing printers for reality of their temperatures. That's something I want to pursue more. So that's an interesting point you bring up there. But yeah, PLA is surprisingly strong. People don't realize that. CNC Kitchen on YouTube has done some excellent testing on filaments and shown time and time again that PLA is actually stronger than ABS, ASA, all of the, like, even polycarbonate, and sometimes like but there are factors to what applications and the strength of applications. There's so many things that go into it. So yeah. Best plastic for higher temperatures, polycarbonate, nylon, but attainable to most folks, ASA and ABS. Got a jet, have a great day. Thank you for being here, thanks for contributing. Yeah, best plastic for higher temps in my world, in most people's world, is, which, you know, ABS can be up to that range, but polycarbonate is not for the faint of heart as far as printing is concerned. So, you know, there's a lot of factors that play into the actual, every question when it comes to 3D printing is, it all depends pretty much. Seems like a stream paused. What the heck's going on here? On my preview, the stream is stuck, so I want to check if that's actually the case or not. Yeah, no, my preview, the stream is stuck, but actually on YouTube it's not. All right, that's weird. Okay, just a hiccup. That's going to happen sometimes. Yeah, I just reloaded it and it seems to be good now. So. Having adhesion problems in the Ender 3 Max. It's got a huge bed, and that's going to be probably going to be a likely scenario where that's going to happen. Yeah, degreasing the surface, wipe it down with alcohol before print. I really like Magigoo. As a bed adhesion promoter, I really like Magigoo. It's a little stick you rub on the bed. It really helps. It both helps. Oh, the front door just opened. My girlfriend must be home. So, yeah. With that being the case, I'm going to go ahead and duck out of here. I'm going to let you folks watch this print, and I'll come back in a little while, and we'll check on it. We'll check on it later. So, double check, make sure everything's all right on the stream. I'm going to do some videos soon about my opinions on, or hiccups are better than farts, right? Yeah, that's true. I'm going to be doing some videos soon about how do you feel about PLA Plus? I use it all the time. Inland brand PLA Plus I use very often. I like it. Have great results with it. And yeah, for functional objects that aren't going to be exposed to heat or UV, I use it often. Well, the wife might not be happy spending $400 on a printer. This printer here is $170. So, I mean, it's a little thing. You're not going to do huge stuff with it, but 170 bucks. Yeah, I'm going to duck out, folks. I'm going to turn on the music, let this print keep rolling, and I will be back. I'll be back in a little bit. We'll see how the print quality goes as we're going here. I got to move on. So, I will be back after I eat some lunch, and yeah, hopefully this print goes without a hitch. We'll see. Try the Voxelab. Yeah. There are so many printers I need to try out there, but you know what? I have to do all this stuff all out of pocket at this point. Like, I bought this printer. They didn't send this to me. My growth is happening, but no companies are really being like, here's a free printer to try out. And I can only afford to spend so much money, you know, testing out different printers all the time. And so I stick to the ones that I know work well and ones that intrigue me and I think that other people might find interesting. So that's what I got to do, you know. All right, folks. I'm going to switch things up here camera angle wise and then move on. I'll be back a little bit later to speak with you folks once the print is done. Camera angle change.
Lying wide awake, I can't sleep tonight. Staring at the ceiling like a restless child. Cause you run around telling all these lies. You're telling all these lies, boy. You said you needed space, baby. that you're out right now, drinking with your friends, having a good time. But when you're feeling lonely, you come back around. You come back around. Oh. I'm done picking up your pieces. I'm done healing all your scars. You say we're done, but then next morning you regret what you said, huh? Here we go again. You tell me we're just friends, but then you call me feeling sorry for yourself. You want me back and tell me that you need my help. Here we go again. So tell me where your friends at. 'Cause you call me feeling sorry for yourself. You want me back and tell me that you need my help. All these thoughts are just running wild. You treat me so bad, but then you love me right. I can't get this off my mind, oh. I'm done picking up your pieces. I'm done healing all your scars. You say we're done, but then next morning you regret what you said, huh? Here we go again. You tell me we're just friends, but then you call me feeling sorry for yourself. You want me back and tell me that you need my help. Here we go again. So tell me where your friends at. 'Cause you call me feeling sorry for yourself. You want me back and tell me that you need my help. Stay where you're at, I will be moving on without you, baby. Don't bother to come back this time. Stay where you're at, I will be moving on without you, baby. Don't bother to come back this time. Here we go again. You tell me we're just friends, but then you call me feeling sorry for yourself. You want me back and tell me that you need my help. Here we go again. So tell me where your friends at. 'Cause you call me feeling sorry for yourself. You want me back and tell me that you need my help. But I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. Sad expression on your face. I don't know. But I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. Sad expression on your face. I don't know. But I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. Sad expression. them. They will find you. You can't hide. You can't escape. You can't escape. Can you hear it? It's them. They will find you. You can't hide. You can't escape. You can't escape. I'm lying wide awake, I can't sleep tonight. Staring at the ceiling like a restless child. Cause you're running around telling all these lies. You're telling all these lies, boy. You said you needed space, but you're out right now. Drinking with your friends, having a good time. But when you're feeling lonely, you come back around. You come back around. Oh. I'm done picking up your pieces. I'm done healing all your scars. You say we're done, but then next morning you regret what you said, honey. Here we go again. You tell me we're just
looks like my audio is really pulsing. Check the audio here real quick. Sorry, folks. Okay, sounds like it's working all right. I don't know what the heck's going on. The audio waveform looks like it's going crazy. Okay, sounds like it's working all right. I don't know what the heck's going on. Okay, anyway, drop down the audio a little more. It is time to wrap up the stream. We've got the Kingroon KP3S here. And we are pretty much done with this thing. We've taken a look at it and got it assembled. It's all ready to roll out. Bloop. Okay. Now maybe we get a little set up here. And yeah, I'm going to pick apart this print a little bit. Again, this was just a random file on the SD card. Nothing that I like chose model wise or anything like that. So I didn't set this, I didn't slice this, none of it, you know, nothing to do with me. It's just Kingroon's file. Just resetting the camera here real quick. Okay. All right, folks, this is the Kingroon KP3S. I'm going to do a full review of this thing. We'll be testing it out in much more detail as time goes on. But right now, here it is. Let's get the print off the bed. This bed is so strange. I've not used one like this before, where it's just this magnet with something stuck to the back of it. It's so floppy, especially when it's hot. But print comes off of there pretty easily. I'm going to do a benchy, not a speed benchy. I'm going to do a benchy run after this. But I'm not going to stream that. So, yeah, this little file is a little guy with a shield and an axe. It's not quite a layer shift, but there's definitely a little layer inconsistency. It seems like it's probably part of the way the design is, but it's funky. Print quality, off the bat, first print out of this thing. Can't say I'm overly impressed. Definitely going to need some time and tuning on this thing to really dial it in. Let me get a closer view on the camera here. See if we can focus this close, I forget. So here it is. You can see what I'm talking about. The layer inconsistency is right around here. It's right where that line is in the axe. I don't know if that line is supposed to be there or not, but it's in the back of the model as well. So it seems like it probably is not supposed to be there, but I just don't know. Some layer inconsistency as we go up here, but I'm gonna keep working with this thing and tune it in and play with it a bit, and we'll do a full review eventually. All right, for those on TikTok, it's the final print quality off of this thing. And yeah, I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. We got the Kingroon KP3S assembled. That's weird. Now that the print's done, it just says closing machine on the screen, and that's it. There's no option to like redo the same print or anything like that. It's a strange way of doing things. So, all right, folks, that's the first initial print off of the Kingroon KP3S. I'm interested, I'm intrigued. I think there's a lot more going for this machine positive than I realized. And I'm really curious to put it through its paces, test it a lot more, and review it. And that'll absolutely be happening on YT, on the YouTube channel. So if you're not already subscribed, get subscribed so you'll be able to catch up with this when it is ready for review. I want to put a lot more hours into testing this machine, running it on many prints before I'm really ready to give a true opinion of it, but we'll cross that bridge when we are ready to. Yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for this one, folks. Anybody have any questions before I dive out of here? I've already got a benchy sliced up for this. I found a printer profile for this for Prusa slicer, the slicer that I primarily use, and I'm going to go with that and give it a test run on that print profile and see how a benchy does. That's the next thing I'm going to do. Once it cools down a bit, I'll apply some Magic Goo, give it a fighting chance. I mean, this adhered well, but I want to give it the best chance that I can. I use Magic Goo with almost all my prints, so it's worth just doing it. All right, folks, with that, I'm going to wrap up. I will catch you all in the next one. Drop this live a like if you're watching it posthumously or you're watching it now. Please consider dropping a like. Get subscribed if you're not already. Let me know in the comments, what are you interested about with the KP3S? What do you want to see from the review once I get around to doing it? I've got a lot of other projects on the what am I trying to say? On the schedule, but this is definitely one of them I want to get to in the very near future. So as soon as I get some more print time in on it, got to order up some new TPU so I can really test this thing out too. TPU seems to be the thing everybody's asking about this with this one, and understandably, direct drive extrusion and all that, it makes sense. So, all right, folks, I will catch you all in the next video and the next live stream. Have yourselves a good one.